Hello everyone, this is the Southern Hellenist. I am back with another video. So the title of this video is I Write Fanfiction. Actually, what the video is about is why Greek myths are so powerful, and it's also based on a lot of things I have been hearing from a lot of people, especially people in their early 20s. And how one particular series of books got them into Hellenism. And I want to also talk about my own story, but that's going to be a little later on, and kind of like tie this up and everything. So one of the things that, one series that a lot of people credit, not a lot of people, but some people credit for their interest in Hellenism is the Percy Jackson series. Some, not all. And they fell in love with the idea of the gods and Percy Jackson's adventures through, from the Lightning Thief all the way to the Last Olympian. So, the thing about Percy Jackson is that he thinks he's this bad kid, and he finds out that he is more than he can possibly imagine. He goes on these quests. One of them he wasn't chosen for. That was the Sea of Monsters. And he goes on these adventures, and he encounters monsters, and he has to help fight against Kronos, who is his quintessential bad boy. It's interesting. In the movie, Luke calls what Kronos did Olympian propaganda, which it isn't. So basically, the theogony is Olympian propaganda. He is trying to explain away what people know to be the truth. So it kind of tells you how much his mind has been twisted by Kronos, if he actually believes that it is actual propaganda and not the truth. So, so you have these adventures that Percy goes on, and Annabeth and Grover and everything. So what is it about these stories that really, really make people excited? And the answer, quite simply, is it's the power of the myth placed into the modern world. It is the idea of somebody that looks ordinary having this great destiny and going out there and fulfilling it. Men that have lost their kingdoms to war going on this great adventure to get back the one thing that will give their kingdom back. Or Perseus going on this quest to save his mother from a marriage that she does not want to be a part of. Going and slaying Medusa and everything. So these stories are timeless. These stories survive the Christianization of Greece. They survive the burning of scrolls and books and stuff like that. And it is amazing when you really look at it and go, wow, what would the world be like if the Odyssey and the Iliad did not exist? So a couple of years ago, I'm going back into the mists of time. A couple of years ago, I noticed that I was on Fanfiction, and I was looking at some of the stories, and on the upper right hand side of the screen they have crossovers, and you click it and it will show you titles of books or series of books or movies or games or whatever that are a crossover, which means that Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Professor Snape and all those characters, they're actually now ingrained into that world as crossover. So I was looking at it, and most of it was all about Nico trying to bring Voldemort to the underworld, or Percy finding out that he's a wizard and going off to Hogwarts. And these were very well done stories. You could tell the authors had a lot of talent and ability to spin a good adventure. So I've done a number of them myself because I always like the idea of like Harry, Ron, and Hermione, and Luna and Neville going off to the States and encountering the gods. And there's also a couple where they encounter the Kane siblings. So I decided to do something a little bit different, and I was thinking back on a lot of the stuff that I remember about Greek mythology, and especially in the realm of the Fates. Now, one of the things that you have to understand about the Fates is they are the final authority on everything. They are the final. When they go and say this is going to happen, you bet your buttons it's going to happen. Sorry about this. I'm trying to find my freaking. Oh, great. Have you wondered why you cannot find your back scratcher? I can't find my back scratcher. My back scratcher, me. So, one of the things that there's a difference between Athena and Artemis. Okay. So Athena, so both of them are virgin goddesses. But Artemis requested, or Artemis asked her father for eternal maidenhood and also her own little band of girls. He granted it because, oh, you can't deny that cute little face. And so that's how she became the goddess. She became the goddess mainly associated with, with the hunt, but she's also connected with virginity. But it's really weird. She's also connected with childbirth. So it wasn't like Athena where there's no record of her requesting eternal maidenhood. That was just what she went past. She's like beyond the realm of mortal desires. And there's kind of like this hatred between Aphrodite and Artemis, or Aphrodite and Athena, one of the two. I think that Aphrodite's got a gripe about both of them, because they don't have children, they don't procreate, they don't do any of this stuff. So in my story entitled "The Adventures of Celine Potter," Celine is the feminine or female Harry, but she doesn't have glasses, if you want to know. And she is born because of fate. Everything about the Harry Potter series is all about Harry being fated and destined to destroy Voldemort. There's no way that he can avoid it. There's no way he can circumvent it. This is what he's fated to do. So in the same line, Celine is fated to do the same thing that Harry does. So you have this girl that shouldn't be alive, but she is, because of fate. Because Artemis could not circumvent fate. She was destined to have this little girl, and what she does to buy her daughter a lot more time is she hands the child over to her father, to Celine's father. And Celine has this aura of internal cuteness. Everybody loves her. She's adorable and sweet, but she's also spunky. And I hope I wrote that in the story, that she's spunky. So she's spunky. She's got intelligence. She is an excellent bowswoman. She can turn into these different hunting animals. She can communicate with wolves and wolf-like creatures. She's essentially Artemis, except that she's got multicolored hair and silver eyes and everything. Well, actually, at first she has just black hair, and then she just decides to go crazy with her hair, which, yeah. So by the time she gets older, she's got like freaking shocking hair and everything. She's spunky. So she is hidden away from the gods for nearly 10 years, and Hecate decides it's time for her to go to Camp Half-Blood and to train and get on Ares' bad side and all the stuff that you love to hear him complain about everything in life. So yeah. So then she finds herself that her and her friend are actually trailing these three to prevent them from dying, because they don't have the instincts that Celine has. She has the instincts on how to avoid trouble, and plus she has money. So that's another thing. So when I published the story, I was like, no, no one's going to read this. And I find out a lot of people have. I think I've gotten a total of like 12 reviews for 4 chapters. But it's the idea of this girl who is already famous for what she didn't intend to do, going and discovering that she has this big, larger fate. And when she comes back to the land of her birth, as they call it, she has her eyes on getting Tom's head on a platter to be personally delivered to Hades, which I will tell you that it will be very interesting to see that she can actually do it without him disintegrating. That's the movie thing. I'm just going to stick with the book thing where he just falls over and then she just going to cuts his head off. I'm sorry, but disintegrating Voldemort was not as exciting as fallen over dead Voldemort. I'm sorry, it was not. I did not like that. But yeah, so this is why crossovers are so popular. This is why the book series is so popular. It's the idea of the hero going out there and battling things that are bigger. And in the case of Celine, it will be prejudice and bullying and all that type of stuff. You know, the things that either lead somebody down the road that causes their own demise, or trying to prevent people from going down the road that causes their own demise. So I'm really excited about continuing with the story. I've gotten 10 chapters done already. I'm uploading them like 1 chapter a day unless it's off, and then you get 2 chapters. But I'm just having a ton of fun writing about Celine and about her little adventures, and about how she's going to develop and grow as a character, and how she changes a lot of people's minds about somebody who had all this fame thrown on them. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it made some form of sense. I always love good adventure stories. I love writing good adventure stories. And yeah, so if you guys are a fan of Percy Jackson, go on to fanfiction.net, click click Harry Potter, go to crossovers, click Percy Jackson, and I have it's one with segment with the, it's a photo that I uploaded like a year or so, I think 3 years ago or something like that. I'm thinking about changing it. So I will see you guys around. So until next time, may you be happy, healthy, and most importantly be safe, and hail to the gods. Bye.